And we are live. What is up? What is up, everybody, on this Friday afternoon? Give y'all a few minutes to come on in here and get into the room. I promise I won't be before you long on this Friday. Hope everybody's doing well. How's your week been? Is it a TGIF Friday for you? Are you just thankful to God that you made it through the week? And Friday is upon you. Looking at the weekend. Hope you got some big plans. Hope you get some rest and relaxation off of that job you might not agree with going to every day. I hope that you can find a way to get off of that plantation and build a life to where you don't have to say TGIF. Friday is just like any other day. You get up, work hard, play hard because you enjoy the work that you do. I see Miss V. Laura is in the house. Thank you for joining me on this Friday. This is going to be a quick live. Won't be before you long, I promise. She says her son is gone for the weekend. She has the house to herself. Lord, I could shout right there. Lee Cagdell, thank you for joining and being a part of this. Y'all, I'm not going to be on here long. I'm not going to hold you on this Friday because I want you to get to your weekend and be blessed. But this story came across my timeline and I thought it was worth addressing with the community because we are fractured as a community right now. And I believe that we have to do the work to put our community back together because what's good for Black America is good for America. Would you agree with that? So we have this issue that has popped up now. You know, it reinvents itself in every generation, but it's the same concept. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's what we're talking about today, y'all. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Anybody heard of it? Anybody know what it is? We've seen this concept before. It's nothing new. It just has a new name. But in my humble opinion, it's folks begging for a handout. Somebody ain't gonna like that. Vanessa Warner, we see you. Somebody is begging for a handout. Give me something based on who I am, who my people were, what my circumstance is. Give me something. In some cases, something that I don't deserve because I haven't done the work. And when we look at the youth in our community, we know there's a lot of them that aren't doing the work. And I've even changed my business model in recent years to focus on those in the community that are making the push on their own. Those are the ones. You don't want to help the ones who are just sitting on the couch being lazy, doing nothing, and say, hey, I'll give you all the help you need to get up off the couch. No, you want to see the ones who are taking the initiative to get up off the couch on their own, do the work on their own. Those are the ones you want to help because you see, they've taken the initiative. They have that inward drive, that intestinal fortitude to get up, do the work, and go for it on their own. Those are the ones you want to help. You don't want to help the lazy. You don't want to help those who are sitting up playing video games all day and not doing the work. So what are we talking about here with diversity, equity, and inclusion? Let's take a look. According to Wikipedia, it says the definition is diversity, equity, and inclusion are organizational frameworks which seek to promote, quote, the fair treatment and full participation of all people, particularly groups who have historically been underrepresented or subject to discrimination on the basis of identity or disability. Okay. Particularly groups who have historically been underrepresented or subject to discrimination. And we can't lie, y'all. This is America. We know that there are groups who have historically been discriminated against. We're not disputing that in any way. We understand what that is. Carl McKay, we see you. Thank you for joining. But these groups who have been historically discriminated against, if we look back at history, we'll see that so many strides have been made over the years to not level the playing field, but to give opportunities where they didn't previously exist in America. There was a time in this country where you weren't permitted to read if you were Black. You weren't allowed, you were punished if it was discovered that you could read. We're not denying history at all. We're embracing that history and saying that we are stronger than the average because we've overcome those things. Our ancestors overcame. That should be proof enough to us that we got what it takes, y'all. We're strong enough to make it. I don't need your handout. I just need an opportunity. I don't need you to open the door for me. I just need you to get out of my way so I can open it for myself. Is that concept hard to comprehend, y'all? That's what DEI is about, pulling people up based on their identity, based on their appearance, based on their skin color. Well, where is that getting us? Because when you pull up people based on those qualifications and those ideologies, you get people who are often unqualified. When there are people who fit those same metrics, who are perfectly qualified, you get somebody like a Ketanji Brown Jackson on the United States Supreme Court, who may very well be qualified to be there, but whose reputation has been besmirched by the process by which she was selected. Where they went out there and said, we going with the DEI concept and we're going to make sure we pick someone based on her gender, based on her skin color. Well, what about her intellect? What about her qualifications? And then she gets in her Senate confirmation and can't even tell you what a woman is. Is that what we want? Well, that's what DEI produces. And I came across this video of a man who I enjoy listening to, Vince Ellison. And he's one of the most prolific Black conservative voices of our day, in my opinion. Prominent speaker and author. And he decided that he was going to speak on DEI and make a presentation here where he had a speaking engagement. And I want to share with you what his idea of DEI is. Let's listen to Vince Everett Ellison and his definition of DEI, y'all.
People, DEI is a Trojan horse. Let me in. Let me in to choose your leaders and choose the people to elevate. Let me in. And I'll choose the best ones. Are you boss? Yes, I will. And then they end up getting the ones who are not going to do you any good whatsoever because they haven't. Have they? They haven't. See, the proving ground, you guys, is the NFL, NBA. America accepts those young men on the football and basketball field because they know they all earned it. We have no doubt. This is why the Super Bowl we watched the last time was the most watched TV show in the history of television. All those Black men out there on the football field, everybody just cheering. You know why? Because you know all of them earned their right to be out there. It is no doubt. Those coaches are not going to put you out there if you don't earn it. And we accept it because of that. This goes back to the biblical concept of why DEI is so dangerous, so misconstrued, and so ridiculous. In our Bible, we can go all the way back to Genesis. I decided to read my Bible over again. I read it many times, but I started reading it again last year. And I read something that had gone over my head 100 times. Thomas Wolfe said you can see things 100 times before you see it once. And I had read Genesis and the story of Cain and Abel 100 times. And I missed this. We all know the story. Cain was angry because God had accepted his brother Abel's offering, and it turned down Cain's. God, understanding that Cain was angry, went to see his grandson and confronted him. And he gave Cain an insight into how the human mind works, how he had wired it up. He said, Cain, why are you angry? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if not, sin waits for you at the door to master you, but you must master it. Think about that. God said, if you do well, will you not be accepted? Y'all, that kills DEI it kills it. And it is proven to be correct every time. Jesse Owens goes to Nazi Germany in the 30s and beats Adolf Hitler. He gets a ticker tape parade in New York City. You can see it online. Just hundreds, thousands of people out there just cheering him. Black man beating a bunch of Nazis and Americans. Joe Louis knocks out Max Schmeling in Yankee Stadium at the eve of World War II. And everybody cheers Joe Louis, a black man. You have Jackie Robinson knocking his home runs. He finally gets called up by Rance Rickey. And then he becomes so good that nobody in baseball, no one in Major League Baseball can ever wear his number again. Number 42 is retired forever. Nobody can wear it. Muhammad Ali, shuffling, hitting, jabbing. They tried to put him in jail, took everything he had. But at the end of his life, he said, I am the greatest. What's on his tombstone? I'm the greatest. Why? They all did well. DEI on top, they let us choose. You can't do well. You can't do it on your own. They have the nerve to say that they're superior to me. If you say that you have some type of privilege over me, you're telling me you're superior to me. That's interesting, isn't it? I got a room full of mostly white Americans in here right now. Which one of y'all got privilege over me? I want to see you. Oh, nobody's standing? White supremacy. Which one of you is supreme over me? And we're correct. You know why? No one can be superior to me because I'm an heir of Jesus Christ and I'm a child of God, same as you. We are all equal. We are all brothers and sisters. We all have gifts. We're not like a herd of animals who all are the same and do the same thing. God made us all so completely different. Oh my goodness, one person can play a piano, one person can sing, one person can cook, one is a doctor, one is a mechanic, one is an HVAC man, one is a landscaper, and we make this beautiful society, and our job is to elevate each other's gifts. Elevate them. We are here to find, what do you do well? God gave you something. And when you find it, man, that's a beautiful thing. If you're a lawyer, God, I want you to be a good lawyer because I don't want to be going to jail because you're not going. If you're a doctor, I want you to be a good doctor because I don't want to die when I lay on the table with you, man. If you're a good cook, oh, God, I love you. I want to pay my money. I want to eat my meals. Oh, man, here's a good tip, you know? The world is beautiful when we do that. But instead they want to say, oh, I don't have what I am supposed to have because of you. You don't have the power to hold me down. Walking around, looking at somebody I don't know, pointing at them, telling them, you held me down. No. And to every American, let me tell you this. I'll give you permission to say this to anybody. If somebody comes up to you and tells you that you are responsible for where they are in their life, you tell them this. You say, let me tell you something, man. If you need a good preacher, I'll help you find one. If you need a good job, I'll help you get one. If you need a good education, learn to read and write, I'll help you, I'll teach you myself. But I will not live in condemnation for you. You're going to not make me feel bad about your trifling behavior. And if you don't want to accept that, If you come and try to take anything from me or mine, I got two things that'll get you off of me, and that's Jesus and my 38. You better not try me.
That's Jesus and my 38. You better not try me. I understand his sentiments. I feel what he's saying. I've listened to him speak on several occasions. There's not much I can say I disagree with him on, other than I don't choose a 38. I think a 9mm is a better round. I hope he upgrades for his own safety and protection. But I get it. I understand what he's saying as far as this DEI concept. I don't need a handout. I just need the instructions on the pathway to get to my goal, and I'm going to do the work, whatever that work might be. Might seem insurmountable at times, maybe trying, but I'm going to do the work because I want to get to the goal. I'm not going to sit here at step 1 with my hand out, hoping that someone will come along who believes in DEI and has pity upon me and my position and just places me where I need to be. I didn't get where I need to get in life, where I got in life because someone handed me something. I stand on the shoulders of ancestors who did the work. What would I look like not getting out here in my era, in my generation, and not doing the work? I did the work, y'all. I went to class. I wrote the papers. I gave the speeches. I did the assignments. Those degrees were earned, not given. Every last one of them. I got the GPA. I took the LSAT. I did it all. I didn't ask for anybody to hand me anything. That's why I can't get with a generation of folks who are coming out and saying, we need to stand here and beg in 2024. Y'all, this kills me. After all the ancestors have done for us to put us in a position to be successful under these circumstances. We want to sit up and be lazy. We don't want to do the work. We want somebody to pick us just because our skin is a certain color, just because we identify a certain way. It is a recipe for disaster. And I would submit to y'all that we are already in a disaster. When you look about at the community and see what these young folks are on, so misguided, shooting, killing each other on a daily basis in major cities across this country. Crime out of control. These kids act like they don't know right from wrong. Did we not teach them? Is there a guilty party out there who didn't raise their kids right? Because they are arguably out of control. And we can't depend on them folks to come in our community and help us fix us. We got to fix us. And it's sort of like being on an airplane, and I fly often. I don't like to fly. It's just a thing, y'all. I like to have my feet on the ground. But when you get up on that plane, they always tell you something goes left. And that mask, that oxygen mask, happens to drop down from the ceiling. Make sure you put yours on first before you try to help the person next to you. So that's what I advocate for us to try to get our own mask situated so that we can be in a position to help the person next to us. We got to fix us first. And in some cases, there's a lot of fixing to do because we are damaged. I'm not denying that some folks have done something to us in the past. Some folks may have betrayed us in the past. Parents, relatives, spouses may have betrayed us, done us wrong. We got PTSD from that. We still trying to get over some stuff. That's fine. But don't damage other people in the process. Fix yourself. Focus. My old football coach used to say, focus. He put his finger on his chin. Focus. I need you to focus on yourself. We're in an election year. I need you to focus on yourself. We're in an election year. I need you to vote your own interest that will fix your situation, because you cannot contribute to the collective if your business ain't straight. I need you to fix yourself so that once you are fixed and repaired, you can help the next person, and that person can fix themselves with your help, and they can help the next person, and that person can fix themselves with more help, and they can help the next person. You see how that works? It's a domino effect. But it starts with doing the work. It starts with fixing that warped mentality that so many in the community have, that somebody got to give you something. Yo, if you don't get nothing else from this, understand, nobody is coming to save you. Not in this world, not on this earth. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to do it for you. If you're blessed in your life cycle, you might get some help every now and then. You might get somebody who actually cares for you and offers you some assistance and don't want nothing in return. You might experience that. I doubt it. But you shouldn't hope for it. You shouldn't depend on it. You should do the work. And if some assistance comes, well, God bless whoever that person is that gave you that assistance. But you need to get in your mind that you're going to get there with or without that assistance, because you have what it takes. You are not defeated. You are not downtrodden. You are not a loser. You are a winner in Christ. And you have everything you need because God has given it to you. And you are in a position to win through your hard work and your faith. Because we know that faith without works is dead. So don't preach faith to me if you ain't willing to do the work, because it takes both. That's what the word says, right? You can have all the faith you want, but if you ain't working, my God, if you don't work, you don't eat. How about that? That's Bible. But here we have the NAACP, y'all. Of all the feckless organizations that exist in America, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Y'all, I got 48 people in the chat. Is anybody out there colored in the chat? Any colored folks in the chat today on this Friday? Because the NAACP is asking student athletes to avoid attending schools in Florida. Can you imagine? You have worked and worked and worked. That's what we advocating for, right? I started out this whole talk about work, putting in the work. Not sitting back on our laurels, not waiting for handouts, but getting to that grind and working it out for ourselves. Y'all, that's what student athletes do. I was part of that cycle. From Peanut League to Pop Warner to AAU to junior leagues to high school football, JV, freshman JV, varsity. And you work all your life, seemingly, from the time you could throw a ball. From the time you could run. You've worked your entire life to get to the point where someone offers you a scholarship. Can you imagine? A major university saying you can go to our institution for free. We just want you to play for us and make our team better, because this is a major source of revenue for our institution. Can you imagine? Those recruiters coming and sitting down in the living room of your home and promising you as a mother that they're going to take care of your boy or your girl. Send them to our school. They'll get a great education. We'll make sure that the dorm is good and clean and they eat well. They'll be well taken care of. All they got to do is go to class and go to practice. They'll be fine. They give you those assurances. Blue Sky's mom says all 3 of her daughters got NCAA athletic scholarships. Ain't that something? All of them. You did something right, mama. We proud of you. But imagine after doing all that work and having those scholarship offers that an organization like the NAACP then comes and says and asks your children, the student athletes, to avoid going to all Florida schools. Why? Not because those Florida schools are detrimental to your children. No, that ain't it. Not because those Florida schools won't offer your child a good education. No, that ain't it. They're saying avoid attending Florida schools because they're not buying into the DEI narrative. They're asking your children that you had suffered with, that you had birthed into this world, that you taught, that you nurtured all this time. They're telling your kids to turn down that scholarship and that opportunity for the collective. Well, what did I just tell you, y'all? You got to be a little selfish sometimes. You got to focus on yourself, because what good are you to the collective if you can't offer anything? This is an opportunity for you to better yourself, be a better person, build a future for yourself, like Blue Sky's mom and all her 3 daughters. This is your opportunity to build something so that you can be a better person, that you can give back to a community that needs your help and needs your support. But the NAACP, an organization that claims to represent your best interests, is telling your kids, nah, don't go to school in Florida. Why? Let's read. The NAACP is asking student athletes to boycott Florida. This request comes after the state required all public universities to ban or eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion curriculums, DEI. They blocking DEI, y'all. They ain't trying to give you a handout. They trying to promote you based on merit. And if you can't get into certain situations and certain programs on merit, maybe it's because you ain't worked hard enough. Did you give it your all? Did you give it everything you got? Did you leave it all on the field? There are 12 public universities in the state, and so far, 4 have banned or eliminated their DEI programs. They are Florida State, University of Florida, University of North Florida, and Florida International University. Your son get a football scholarship to Florida State, you turning it down for the NAACP? Your daughter get a basketball scholarship to University of Florida, you turning it down for the NAACP? A free education when in many of our circumstances, we can't afford to send our kids to college? You get an opportunity of a lifetime? A scholarship? It ain't even got to be a full scholarship. What if it's just a discount? In this economy, you take what you can get. In Joe Biden's America, with inflation constantly on the rise, you take what you can get. And here we are with the NAACP, who claims to represent the advancement of colored people. I don't see any colored people in the chat. Let me look. Let me pause. Vanessa Warner, yes, me. You colored? Trevor Mitchell says, nope, I ain't colored. Not me. I ain't claiming that. Don't put it on me. Netta T says, no way. I don't know if that was for the DEI or for the colored. Reginald Dorico says, me. He colored. Y'all, in 2024, we colored out here dealing with the National Association for the Advancement of the Boule. Let's be honest about what this organization is. What have they done for the community? What have they done for the collective? We ain't heard nothing from the NAACP in years. Might I even say decades? We ain't heard from y'all. What are y'all even sitting back doing? But you want to come out in a situation like this and tell us to sacrifice our children for your left-wing agenda? Nah, we ain't doing that. Muriel Blacksher Martinez says, what color? It don't matter what color. Any color, pick a color. They didn't identify a color in their name. They just said the advancement of color people. So we assume that they're for all colors, right? Might want to check their history. The story reads, the law also prevents public colleges and universities from spending money on DEI programs. Ooh. So they cut them off. Florida ain't playing with your DEI, with your discrimination, with your handout community. Florida wants you to do the work. All right. We see you, Florida. If that's what you own, then that's what we own. Now, I ain't in Florida. I got friends. I got family in Florida. So I understand they have to live by these laws, rules, and regulations. Just get with it. When you understand, y'all, and I have to say this, because I see people all the time on the internet that will get you riled up. They want you to wake up every morning mad and angry at the world. They want you to live your life upset because they can control you that way. When they get you in your emotions, then they can come like a puppet master with strings over you and control your every mood and every move because you are in your feelings. Some of them are on YouTube. You can find them, search them. They'll advocate for things that make you mad every day. They cherry pick their stories to keep you angry. They want you to feel a certain way so they can manipulate you and play on that anger and emotion. That ain't what we're about here. We're about moving forward. One thing that bothers me is emotional men. And I might go into that on another stream, on another live, and deal with that issue. But it bothers me. But we live in a society that wants men to be emotional, wants men to be in their feelings. And not only want them to be in their feelings, but want to manipulate their feelings so they feel a certain way, maybe feel not so manly because masculinity is toxic. It's the era we live in. Quote, this is just another example of what the NAACP has been about for years. That is demonstrating the need to make these types of issues come forward before the public to see what's happening in Florida. This is a direct action approach to let legislators know how we feel about diversity, Jacksonville NAACP President Isaiah Rumlin said. Walton Kofi II is athletic director for schools just north of Florida, of the Florida border in Camden County, Georgia, that Georgia-Florida line. He deals with a lot of athletes looking at Florida schools. Kofi says this will need to be a discussion between students and their parents. Y'all, is that not what I was saying? I alluded to just that when these recruiters come and sit down in your living room. And that can be difficult if only schools from Florida are looking at you. How difficult would that be? When Florida has changed the laws of their state, and you right there on that Florida-Georgia line, living in Georgia, and you got all the top Florida schools recruiting you, offering you the scholarship, the education, the package of a lifetime. You gonna turn it down for the NAACP? You can't be serious. You gonna turn it down for left-wing policies? You can't be serious. You gonna turn it down for the Democrat Party? You can't be serious, y'all. This is unreal. There's no question If students have an opportunity to go to school, period, and we are cutting off a segment, a piece of that pie, it's all what I've been saying. There's no question that makes it difficult for a parent. In South Georgia, we do have students that go right across the state line to Florida. These are personal decisions that parents and students need to sit down and communicate about, Kofi II said. UNF has already shut down its DEI offices. UF did a couple weeks ago, and that eliminated 13 full-time DEI positions and eliminated all outside contracts with DEI vendors. Who wrote this? Scott Johnson. Scott Johnson is the reporter. Props to Scott Johnson for putting it out there for us to consume so that we can understand what's going on out here in the real world, y'all. In the real world. Amongst colored folks. Because let's face it, that's what DEI is about, right? Colored folks. Colored people. People who have been discriminated against, people who identify a certain way. That's what DEI is about. DEI says you can't do it on your own. You're not smart enough. You're not equal. You're not capable. You need help. And we're going to put these policies in place in order to help you. But if you look deeper, if we go beneath the surface, y'all, peel back a few layers, we'll see. DEI ain't about the people. DEI is like any other program. DEI is about allocating budget funds to DEI so that DEI survives. How many people does DEI help? Nobody cares. They just showed you that they eliminated the program and laid off 13 full-time staffers for the DEI program. DEI is not about helping the students. It's about funding the program. Oh, we get it. We know how this works. Create a problem so that we can fund a solution. We get it. Y'all, I wanted to bring this to your attention on this Friday. Not to be a downer. No, it's Friday. I'm happy for y'all. Thank God it's Friday. I hope you thanking God. Don't thank nobody else. Because it is He who has given you life and breath and strength. And we happy about it on this Friday. But I wanted to bring this to your attention so that you are aware of the things that are going on in society. These stories that might fly under the radar in this political year that might not get as much attention. I wanted to bring it to your attention so you know, especially y'all, y'all colored folks in the comments who might have kids who are coming up this kind of way and have groups like the NAACP telling them to turn down scholarships and educational opportunities. Are you kidding me? Nah, you ain't for me. You ain't for people like me. You ain't for colored people. You are for your own self-preservation of your organization. That's all you care about. That's why you pop up when issues like this happen. It's not about Black folks. It's not about Black America. It's not about America. It's about an organization that is struggling to survive in modern times. Because folks have honestly discovered that they don't need you no more like they may have once in the past. Times have changed. Things have evolved. People are seeing things a different way. Yeah. It's 2024. NAACP is pretty irrelevant, in my opinion. Because the pathways are there. All we got to do is do the work, no matter what your color is. Get the grades. Get the test scores. Do the work. Go to class. Put the Mac hand down and make a difference in your community. That's all I got for y'all today. That's where we at. let's see. Oh, I barely made it to 40 minutes. Told y'all it was going to be a quick one today. Not going to hold you long. But I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down because I'm trying to encourage somebody, especially the youth, because they need so much help. Nah, they don't need a handout. They just need a hand. Some of them need their butt whooped. Can I say that on these folks' platform? I don't even know. I've never said it before. It just kind of flew out of my mouth. Whoops. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I truly appreciate your support. The fact that I can push the go live button and y'all are here, attentive, active in the chat, communicating with your boy. It's encouraging. I appreciate it. And you know what? I'm about to make a members only live stream shortly after this because I have some things that I've been thinking about as far as the trajectory of this channel. And I want to talk to the members and supporters of this channel and really get some feedback on what they think about the ideas I have. So if you're a member of this channel, stick around for that. That's coming soon. And for everyone else who's been a part of this chat, this live stream, this presentation, I appreciate you so much. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. And hey, don't forget, y'all, I go live on Sunday mornings for coffee conversations, where I just sit down and have a cup of coffee and talk about whatever randomly comes to mind, because that's how my brain works. So I'll see you on Sunday morning, live and direct on this channel. Thank you all for being here. God bless you. Love you all.